2025 was a huge year for me. I was a photographer, I was a graphic designer, I was a video creator, I was a film developer, scanner, and editor, and I was a creative director. Overall, this year was huge for me in terms of my creative work. I wanted to select a few of my favorite pieces of the year to kind of highlight the different areas of my work that I'm proud of and give a small recap of this past year. So welcome back to Shots AEG. What's up everyone, it's Andreas from Shots AEG, and as you can tell by the intro, 2025 was quite the year for me. There were a lot of very cool experiences, opportunities, and just projects as a whole that I feel very fortunate to have done in this past year. Looking back, I feel like I developed my skills in all areas: photo, video, graphic design, even picked up some new ones like film photography and developing film, scanning film, that entire process. So I'm obviously extremely happy with how my 2025 went, and it only got me more excited for what's to come. That being said though, I kind of wanted to take a look back on the year as a whole and just kind of highlight some of my favorite work from this past year. Now, originally, this kind of end of 2025 video was going to look very different. Originally, what I had planned for this was I sent out a 400 photo album link to some of my family and friends, and I actually asked them to vote on their favorite photos for each month. And I filmed it, I started editing it, and I just kind of realized that A, there was a lot of rambling, 2, there was no clear direction, no clear concept, and 3, it was extremely similar to the classics video. Looking back on that video, it was very long, it felt very dragged out and just very repetitive, and so I kind of wanted to switch it up and also take the opportunity to highlight some other aspects of my creative work. So unfortunately, I did scrap that idea. I still want to do a video where I kind of incorporate my family and friends. So this video will be strictly my own opinions and my own experiences looking back on this past year. So now the idea behind this video is I'm going to select one piece from each of the different categories that I worked in this past year. So I'm going to be selecting my favorite photo from this entire past year, my favorite film photo, my favorite graphic, my favorite video, and my favorite project or event from this past year. Now, for the photo categories, both the film and the digital one, I might be cheating a little bit, but I did want to select one gymnastics and one non-gymnastics photo. Just looking through quickly here, there's a lot that I personally really like and that I am quite proud of. And so it would have been kind of hard to just pick one out of all the different styles that I enjoy shooting, all the different events, all the different places that I went to. So I will be giving myself that one opportunity to kind of pick two. The way I want to structure this video is I'll take you through the 4 photos first, then we'll do the video, then we'll do the graphic, and then I'll kind of talk about my favorite event or experience from this past year. Now, it won't be a full analysis like the classics video, for example. I think I'm just going to talk about where the photo was taken, kind of what I like about it personally, what it means to me outside of just photography and stuff like that, what it means to me in general, or if there's any other special things related to the photo. So let's jump right in. Okay, I think I'm going to do this chronologically. So our very first photo that we have here is a film photo taken on my Canon EF SLR 35mm film camera, and it's a photo of my teammate Ricky Mays at NCAA championships in Michigan. Now, this photo was taken on Kodak Portra 800 film. If you don't know, Portra 800 is a more light sensitive film, meaning that it doesn't need much exposure to light to create an image. So what does that mean? That means that I can have a really fast shutter speed, which is obviously ideal for gymnastics or sports. Not only do I think that it's just a visually appealing and aesthetic photo, but it also means a lot to me because it was actually selected to be a part of a gallery here in Houston that highlighted Houston artists. And so I didn't apply to it, I didn't seek this opportunity out. It was simply the lab that I sent my film to for development, scanning, editing. They actually came to me with the opportunity and asked if I wanted to be a part of this. Obviously I said yes. So not only is this photo cool just because of the moment and where it was captured at NCAAs, as I said. And to me, it was really special because it was my first NCAAs. I was competing And I was also hired for my first official sports photography gig by Gymnastics Now, which is a gymnastics media page. And so it was a very, very unique experience. And the fact that A, I was hired by them, and B, that some of my work later on was invited to be a part of this gallery in Houston, it just meant a lot to me. And so this photo in particular is very, very special to me. So yeah, not only is this photo extremely special because of all those things, but it's also very special to me just because up to this point, I hadn't really shot a whole lot of gymnastics on film, and I was still practicing getting my exposure right, practicing getting focused because the cameras I have are all manual focus. And so to get a result like this and to have it be recognized in a gallery was extremely, extremely special to me. And I'm super, super thankful that I was invited to be a part of that. So I'm not gonna dive into the composition and other factors of this photo. I just kind of want to take the time to look back and appreciate each one of these projects. So this is our non-gymnastics digital photo that I have selected. This one is one of my personal favorites for various reasons. I think the biggest one though is the fact that it's in New York. And if you know me, you know I've wanted to go to New York for a while, way before I was even into photography and all this. I was always kind of drawn to New York and to visit it and just kind of, I don't know, experience it, I guess. And this past summer, actually, I was able to go with one of my best friends. We only went for like a day and a half, but it was still such a fun experience, in my opinion, and I loved it. I do think though I was able to enjoy it just a little more given that I'm super into street photography and I just love walking around and experiencing new places. I think another thing that I really, really like about this photo is the fact that it's at the Empire State Building. Now, that's obviously one of the most iconic buildings in the entire world. And I just love that I was able to get a unique and interesting composition with it. My original concept for this photo was very different to what it is now because I was already taking pictures of the building itself and I happened to see this man walking by kind of looking up. And so my thought process was, oh, maybe I could get him walking by in front of the building and it'll make for a cool shot with someone walking by. But then as I crouched down to take a photo of him walking by in front of the building, he actually stopped right on the right hand side of the frame. That's obviously some rule of thirds action going on there, so it makes for an extremely interesting composition. Not only that, but him looking up tells an amazing story. And it just makes for a great moment that I was able to capture. In addition to all of this, I think something else that's extremely interesting about this photo is the fact that, you know, we have our foreground with our subject, we have our middle ground with the building, and we have a background with the clouds and the sky. Having all those three creates this level of depth and intensity in the photo that photo with simply one or two of those just doesn't hit. And so the fact that there are numerous technical good aspects to this photo just really elevate it for me, on top of the location of where it was at, the personal meaning to me, and just the moment as a whole. Our next photo is going to be our digital gymnastics photo. Now, this photo, as you can tell, is extremely artistic and abstract, which is something I personally love and I try to capture as much as I can. I feel like it's very unique and oftentimes it comes out more aesthetically pleasing than if I just were to have captured the action with a high shutter speed or freezing the moment type of photo. Now this photo is of a gymnast from Illinois competing at the US Gymnastics Championships. Now something else that I was able to do this summer was essentially intern for USA Gymnastics as a content creator. And the whole idea behind it was they wanted current or ex-gymnasts to apply to give them experience, but to also get content from an athlete's perspective, which I think is super unique, super cool, and just allows for very, very cool opportunities for a lot of the people who have dedicated a large portion of their life into this sport. And so I applied and I was fortunate enough to have been selected to document the biggest gymnastics event for USA Gymnastics, which was an amazing opportunity. And I was able to walk away with a large amount of what to me are portfolio level photographs that I was able to make. This is obviously a slow shutter shot of this athlete on the pommel horse, which if you don't know, I am a pommel specialist. I'm a pommel guy. So obviously it's my favorite event and I love being able to capture it in an artistic and aesthetically pleasing way. Now, this is also very exciting for me just because I feel like the pommel horse is a lot of people's least favorite event to do and watch. And so if I'm able to capture it in a more interesting way and kind of highlight it and highlight the level of athleticism that it takes to be successful in that event. I don't know. It's just very cool to me to be able to kind of combine the two areas of my life that I enjoy in and that I am passionate about. So yeah, not too much more to be said about this photo. Obviously, shooting US championships for USA Gymnastics was an amazing experience, and it was awesome to be able to meet a lot of other photographers, hear their story, their backgrounds, but also kind of learn more about how the media world works. It was overall a very, very fun experience, and I'm very thankful for USA Gymnastics for creating this opportunity for athletes and creatives such as myself. Our last photo here is my non-gymnastics film photo. Now, at first glance, it may not look like anything crazy, but to me, it symbolizes a lot. So this photo was taken on my Minolta Himatic 7S on Kodak Gold 200. So that film does extremely well in bright, sunny daylight, which is what we had on this day. It was taken in Mexico, and it's a photo of my older cousin who I went to go visit back over Thanksgiving break. We were on this kind of mountain hill, just kind of overlooking the entire city, and it looked amazing. It was a very, very cool view. To get the technicalities of the photo out of the way first, I love that I was able to kind of frame him extremely well in the image on the left side of our rule of thirds grid. So it just adds for a little more interesting framing and composition. I love that you can see the mountains and the city in the background, and he's just kind of looking off. I don't know, it's just a very aesthetically pleasing image to me. Now, on top of all those factors, I think what really elevates this image, in my personal opinion, and kind of makes it a little more meaningful to me, is that this photo was shot by me, developed by me, scanned by me, and edited by me. And to be able to say that I made this image from the start to the end is just something I find very, very cool to be able to say, and just very valuable. Now, I think my film lab did a great job giving me amazing results on every single film roll that I ever sent to them. Just knowing that I was able to do the entire process myself, no one else's hands touched my art, is just something I find very, very valuable. And I think that's what really elevates this image for me. And it's something that I personally really enjoy. It's different than my digital photos. I feel like film has kind of taken this special place in my creative work that is just a little bit more personal, if that makes sense, because I'm not doing it for anyone but myself. And I just feel like that's very special to have, and I've only grown to love it more now that I'm doing the whole process myself. To me now, it kind of feels like the creative escape within the creative escape, if that makes sense. Something else I really love about it is that you only get 36 photos. You get 36 photos, you can't see them right away. You might make mistakes that you can't fix, but I think that those three things are what really, really makes it special. The fact that you have a limited quantity of photos makes you really think and be intentional with every single photo that you take. The fact that you can't see them right away allows you to simply take the photo and keep on living in the moment and not worry about sharing it on social media or to family and friends, but you just keep going with your day. You keep looking for more photos to take. And the fact that, you know, there are mistakes that could happen. You could misfocus, you could overexpose, underexpose, whatever you want to put in that box. I feel like the mistakes are a part of the creative journey that you just have to embrace and learn from and appreciate. Appreciate that you're able to mess up and take something away from it still. Now moving on to the next category, we have my favorite video of the year. This was the first year where I started to experiment with filming videos and color grading and editing and all that. And I definitely learned a lot. I still don't feel like I'm super good at it yet, but I feel like I'm slowly getting there. And I've been enjoying learning more about color grading process and just the video making process as a whole. A big inspiration for my kind of itch of wanting to create videos was Gox. If you don't know Gox, he is a Mexican video creator here on YouTube. He's not even just a video creator, he's a whole artist. Like he can draw, paint, he literally does it all. He can sculpt, he does photography. He is an amazing artist. And his videos are kind of what inspired me to start attempting to color grade and to make high quality content. It first started as kind of just messing around with the camera, making little edits and stuff like that. I think my favorite video of the year was a short film that I did called A Different Type of Love, A Gymnastics Story. And this video was heavily inspired by Gox's filmmaking and cinematography, I feel like. And the cool thing about this video as well is that I had one day to make it. So this was actually the interview/application process for the job that I worked at college this first semester. Our task was to tell our story and make it about inspiration, growth, and just kind of being seen. Looking back, I love the story that I told, and it was my first attempt at making a short film. I love that I was able to express myself and kind of tell my story in a creative and hopefully compelling way. Now, I would play the video, but it's 4 minutes long. If you want to watch the whole video, I'll leave it. I don't know. I don't even know if I know how to do that, but hopefully I'll figure it out. If not, it'll be down there. Definitely check it out. I think it's worth a watch. So yeah, that definitely takes the cake for my favorite video project of the year. And again, it's something that I'm very, very proud of, and it just feels very personal to me. And I don't know, I just hope other people can enjoy it to the same level that I do. Now, our next category is for my favorite graphic of the year. So this past year, I actually took the challenge to not only run our gymnastics team's social media, but obviously take the photos, and I even started getting back into graphic design as well. It's been a very fun experience being able to kind of promote our team and highlight each athlete in different ways. And I just love that I'm able to kind of give this to my team and their families. Now, I took a graphic design class my senior year of high school, and so it definitely took me a little bit to kind of get in the groove of things and remember how to do everything on Photoshop. But I think my favorite graphic of 2025 was this captain's graphic that I made for our captains this year. Now, I made this graphic back in September, and I think it is my favorite graphic of all the graphics that I've made for our team. I just love how elegant it looks, how clean it looks, and I'm very, very proud of this graphic. Just to go through it a little bit, we obviously have our 3 captains up front. On the background is actually a map of the city of Greenville, which I thought was super, super cool and a very unique thing to include. Down in the corner, it reads Greenville University Men's Gymnastics, and then the coordinates to our gymnastics training facility. And then another thing that I love to include on certain graphics are the athlete's signatures. I feel like that adds a little bit more personality to the graphic, and it allows to have that athlete's kind of personal touch on their graphic and make it just that much more personal to them. And yeah, this is definitely one of my top graphics of the entire last year. I used a similar template to make our schedule graphic for our 2026 season, but something about this captain's one just looks so clean and elegant, and I love it. Now, moving on to our last category of this 2025 recap video is my favorite project, event, or opportunity that I had this past year. Now, let me preface this by saying that I am obviously extremely thankful for everything that I was able to do last year. I definitely feel extremely blessed to be in the position that I'm in. But I think by far my favorite project/event from this past year was the Greenville Gymnastics Media Day that I was able to coordinate and essentially direct. Now, Greenville University is a D3 school, and so obviously compared to the D1 programs that we go up against, we may not have the same budget or the same resources that they do. But obviously, as you can tell with the photos that I take and the graphics that I make for the team, I really try to keep up with all the other powerhouses that we go up against, just because I mean I want our guys to look cool. I want people to be able to look at our program and get excited by it and just kind of appreciate it for what it is. And so this is the 4th year of the program, both men's and women's. And in the past few years, we have not had a media day. I think the first year, someone just brought their camera in and took a few photos, and that was it. The second year, which was my first year there was 0 photos taken besides our headshots for our roster on the Greenville website. And last year we had a little bit of a media day. It was just some very basic poses and shots that I had to get to make the graphics. So it was in our gym behind a white wall, or in front of a white wall. No crazy setup. It was just me and my camera trying to get the shots I needed for the graphics that I was gonna make throughout the season. This year though, being the 4th year of the program and having the original class of freshmen that started this entire program, I talked to my coach about potentially being able to organize or coordinate something special for them. So I was able to find us a guy who would make us a backdrop. We were able to find a place with a giant screen that we could put the backdrop on. I told him I would take care of photos, videos, and I would obviously edit and put everything together. And thankfully he was very excited about it, and he gave me that opportunity to kind of coordinate an event like this. And the fact that he was so willing to help me organize everything and get everything ready was super special. And I'm glad that we were able to make that happen. Now, to talk a little bit about the event, our coach wasn't gonna be there, so he left me in charge of everything. Thankfully, two of my teammates, Donnie and Henry, came in and helped me kind of set everything up. Donnie brought in his camera and helped me take photos and videos. Henry was there for literally whatever we needed, and he was also taking photos with my film camera and taking behind the scenes footage with my OSMO. So they were super helpful in making sure everything ran smoothly and that we got all the content that we needed. And it was a huge experience for me because I was able to kind of practice leading a creative team, and it was so cool. I think by far my favorite part from the media day, other than the amazing results that me, Donnie, and Henry were able to get, was just seeing everyone get excited and seeing their reactions to having like a professional media day.
You know, it's going really good. Me and Andreas, we said like we've entered our flow state, you know, we're just getting the pictures, we're getting the shots we need to get, so it's going great.
I think it went really well. I think that the energy here was great.
I think it went great. Everyone was really excited, and I think it went great overall. I mean, it's the first real media day that we've had, so it was really exciting to have.
And just knowing that I had a part in helping set everything up and helping make sure that everything, you know, was able to actually happen and run smoothly, it was just a very cool experience to see smiles on everyone's faces and everyone having fun posing and taking photos and videos. Not only that, but then once we got all the photos and videos out, seeing people post them and genuinely be excited about something that we did as a creative team was just super rewarding, and it's definitely something that I will never forget. I'm extremely glad that, you know, I was able to help make that happen for everyone. So yeah, there you go. Those are my favorite pieces of Shots AEG work that I was able to get out last year. They all are very special to me, and they all mean a lot to me for various reasons. And I just wanted to kind of come on here and give a little recap of the year while also looking back on some of my favorite projects that I was able to do and some of my favorite work from this past year. And yeah, looking back on 2025 has me even more pumped for 2026. As of right now, there are some pretty exciting things that are coming up. So yeah, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, turn on post notifications. Okay, bye.